Welcome to episode 3 of the Christian Readers Podcast, where you can escape into fiction without sacrificing your values. I'm your host, Colleen Mitchell, author of The Chronicles of Talam. Today, I am chatting with Lynn McConahy, Christian fantasy author and publisher of the Clean Fiction magazine. I met Lynn at the 2025 Realm Makers Conference, and I am super excited to talk to her today. So, Lynn, welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. I'm very excited to chat with you as well.
All right, so tell me a little bit more about your background and your books.
Well, I grew up in a publishing family. My family actually owns a weekly publication in our small town, and it has been in publication for 53 years. So it was started by my grandfather, passed on to my father, and hopefully someday will be passed to me. We'll see. But being in a publishing family, you're just exposed to a lot more things. How to put articles together, how to put advertising together, what it takes to actually get something to print. And being in an entrepreneurial family, you just sort of want to do that sort of thing. And so I embarked on my journey to write my first book. I'd been working on it for over a decade, but it finally came to fruition in 2021. I was like, okay, Christian fantasy, this is my thing. Let's go. And then hit the marketing world, and there really wasn't something out there that particularly focused it on this, except for Lorehaven, of course. But having a passion for actual print media, I was like, but I want something that I can hold in my hands, just like my family's paper. So I was like, well, I could do something of that nature. But of course, having 3 small children and watching my cousin's little girl made that a little bit time consuming. So I was like, okay, Laura, this isn't really the time for it. And he's like, no, we're starting this now. I'm like, okay. So I released my novel in January of 2021. And by July of 2021, I had started the magazine, and the rest just went on from there.
So this is the Clean Fiction magazine. Tell
Yes.
tell the listeners a little bit more about what the Clean Fiction magazine is, who it's for, like all of the details.
Clean Fiction magazine is a Christian publication that focuses on reviewing books in the secular and Christian space. We focus specifically on independent authors and small presses because they're the ones that don't get as much attention, and their books are just as good, if not better, than ones that are put out by the general market. So we try to create a safe space for that and access for readers to find these books that I know that they're just going to love.
So where do people in the wild find the Clean Fiction magazine? Is it like at doctor's offices, homeschooling things? Like where do people find it?
Well, we're working on spreading our actual physical copies out to libraries and such. But the most easy way to get access to our magazine at this point in time is through our website, cleanfictionmagazine.com, and they can get either a yearly ebook subscription or a yearly paperback subscription, and we could send it either straight to your email or straight to your home.
That's awesome. Because it allows secular books in there, would you say that it's also for secular readers? So you don't have to be a Christian to be reading Clean Fiction magazine?
Correct. We cater to readers who enjoy just staying out of the muck and mire of what is most popular in the world right now, whether they're Christian or not. We definitely, being a Christian publication, include things like devotions and ministries in our publication, but someone who has no Christian background whatsoever can happily enjoy our magazine with no problems.
So because it's a rating magazine, there has to be a rating system. And I know at least one of them is like grandma's clutching her pearls, but it's still okay to read. Can you
Yes.
explain what the whole rating system is so we get a feel for what kind of things go on in there?
Well, we have everything from nothing. You could read this to your infant with a clear conscience to double blink, clear your eyes from contamination. And though we named everything very silly, like showing some ankle, but it has in the front of the magazine a more detailed information about what each rating really means, because we just wanted to keep things lighthearted, and just we try to stay away from gratuitous gore, from same gender relationships, and things that would be blatantly not God honoring, for instance, like glorifying pagan religions. Those are just not included. But because we review everything from middle grade all the way up through adult, like, and rate them accordingly, you could give this to your preteen, you could give this to your teen, or you could find books for yourself. It just depends what level of clean that you're comfortable with.
Okay. So it's kind of like the romance rating scale with a heat level kind of thing.
Yes, yes, very similar to that.
Okay. So why should authors be submitting their books to the Clean Fiction magazine, even if they aren't Christian or writing Christian books?
Because a lot of Christian readers are crossover secular to Christian readers. Gone are the days where the only thing that a Christian reader has access to is Amish romance. There's just so much out there now. And growing up as a Christian who loves books, through all that time, I was constantly looking for authors who had exciting and captivating stories, but just chose not to be cutting somebody's head off every 5 minutes. And I feel like our readers are along the same lines, that they're like, we want the book to be really good and full of information and maybe mystery, but we don't particularly need it to have someone being yanked into the bedroom every 5 minutes.
Yeah, and for listeners who are confused about like what does Christian fiction actually mean, it's not like pounding you over the head with the Bible in the story. It's just integrating and weaving in biblical themes and morals into the story itself, and also not showing things like gore and, spice scenes, which a lot of us don't want to be seeing anyway.
Yeah, that's why I feel like there's plenty of readers out there that do enjoy clean books. I mean, just look at the market. The things
Yep.
that are becoming extremely popular may not necessarily be Christian, but they're things that shy away from just the ugly side of life.
Which means that even if you're not a Christian, if you are looking for clean books, this is the magazine to look for them in, basically.
Correct. We also do list on the review if it has a Christian theme in it. Like there's a religion section in the review because each review is an entire page. Like it gives you information about the action, adventure, it gives you information about romance, religion, final thoughts of what the person who is reviewing it actually feels about it. But if you look at the genre section, it'll say Christian fantasy or Christian science fiction. And if it doesn't list Christian, it's just clean or secular in some manner. Cozy mystery, for instance. Like if it's a Christian cozy mystery, it would say Christian cozy mystery. If it's just a cozy mystery, it would just say cozy mystery.
So, what is the process to submit people's books, and like how long does it take to get listed? How often do you guys publish? Like if let's say if I submitted my books today, at what point would I be able to expect to see them in the magazine?
It is variable, I will admit, because it depends on how many reviewers we have in that particular genre. For instance, like our fantasy turnover is a lot faster than maybe our science fiction turnover, just because we have three people who have some sort of fantasy focus and only one in science fiction. So you can submit your book at any time on our website for free. There's no like cutoff time or anything like that. You just go to cleanfictionmagazine.com, click on submissions, and it's right there. And then once you submit your book, it within a week, it is on our TBR pile for access to all of our reviewers. They look at your information, read your blurb if it's within their genre, decide if they want to read your book, and then they schedule on their own when that is going to happen. But we have a requirement that each reviewer has to read at least 2 books off of the TBR pile every single quarter, which we release quarterly. And considering our last edition had 194 pages of reviews, like we get through books quickly. we're up over 900 books reviewed at this point, and I'm about 500 of which have come from our TBR pile. So
I
we
think
get through them quickly, but
you guys work through your TBR pile faster than the rest of us. Ours just
well,
keeps growing.
with having open submissions, you have to
Yeah.
continue to work through it. But yep, as long as your blurb is exciting and the person who is in that genre, it catches their eye, it should be pretty quick turnaround.
Is there anything that we didn't talk about that you want to cover today?
I would say that we support ministries with free articles every quarter. So like if you have a ministry that furthers the kingdom of God, you can give us a holler at info@cleanfictionmagazine.com and tell us about yourself. And we, after seeing what you do, we do offer free articles for those ministries.
That's awesome. All right. And what is the best way for listeners to connect with you or Clean Fiction Magazine online?
We are on Instagram at Clean Fiction. We are on Facebook at Clean Fiction Magazine as a group. You can find me personally at Sunset Valley Creations on Facebook, but we also have a Clean Fiction group on Goodreads, which is growing, which is nice.
Nice. I'll have to check that one out.
We also have full access to our magazines on Patreon if you don't want to deal with Amazon in any respect. And our magazines are also available for purchase on Amazon.
Well, thank you, Amy Lynn, for coming on the podcast. It was great talking with you again.
Lovely to see you again as well.
Thanks for listening to today's episode. If this resonated with you, please share it with your friends so they can find something new to read. God bless, and until next time, goodbye.